We cannot leave Dallas, Texas without checking in with the manager of your Toronto Blue Jays, Mr. John Schneider. Great to see you. You're always so good spending some time with us. Big free agent news, the biggest one was Juan Soto. He's now with the Mets, but word is that you guys were right in there in your pursuit of the number one free agent this winter. From your vantage point and to the level that you were involved in the pitch, how did you guys feel about the way you went after him, your approach, and overall pitch to someone like him?
Great seeing you as well, obviously, Hazel. I think we put our best foot forward like we always try to do. I think, specifically the last 2 years with, two very high-profile free agents, we're lucky enough to be one of the clubs that can hopefully afford their services, which is saying a lot. So I think the overall pitch, every team is different, and it really comes down to what the player ultimately wants for him and his family. Our draw, obviously, is unique, being that we're in a country all by itself. The team that we do have, the resources that we do have, and the ability to spend money. So the pitch was, very consistent with what we've done in the past to guys like George, Chris Bassett, Kevin Gausman. We're trying to really highlight what we're good at, what we're trying to get better at, and players like Juan, they can change the game in a hurry, and we're disappointed we missed out on him, but happy for the Mets. They got a great player, and it's just nice that we are in that conversation because of the resources we have.
It was interesting. You shed some light on things that Juan Soto wanted to know. Did you learn anything about him?
You see him from afar. He's an elite player, and I think players like that, yes, they're very talented, but just very calculated. They're kind of, I said, they're buttoned up. All of them kind of have their ducks in a row, and it's kind of what takes them from good to great. And didn't really learn much. You kind of expected him to be that way. And again, it's an opportunity for him to really set his family up for a long time.
You've got a pretty great player in Vladdy Guerrero Jr., and I center him out because there's been a lot of focus now away from Juan to Vladdy and an extension and, what his future is like. As his manager, as you go into 2025, how do you keep all this white noise from being a distraction to what he and you and your players want to do in 2025?
Yeah, it's not that hard with a guy like Vlad. He's getting ready for the season as he does every year, and he's doing everything he needs to do to have another monster year. I think when everyone understands the business part of the game and where he is with his contract, and it can get a little bit sticky at times, but our view with Vlad has never changed. We want him to be here for as long as he can, and we know that Vladdy loves it here. So when you're dealing with that off the field, that's Vlad. I think our job is to make sure he's comfortable and that he's performing well, and we're lucky enough that he's that type of person where it shouldn't really bleed into his day-to-day.
Do you think the personal relationship you have with Vladdy, knowing him for a long time, can that be an advantage for you?
I'd like to think so. I've known him since he's a teenager and watched him turn into this, superstar, and we're very comfortable with one another. We've been through good times and bad times, and someone that I'm very comfortable with, and I think that he's very comfortable with me. So Vladdy likes that. He likes kind of, continuity and routines, and likes to be, comfortable with what he's doing. So I hope it does. We've had great conversations, throughout last season, off season. I love what he's doing right now, so I hope that does play a little bit of a factor.
You guys pulled off a big trade in acquiring Andres Gimenez. Tell me what you know of him from all your vetting and all the scouting you've.
Thrilled to have him. I think probably the best defender in baseball in the infield position. Seeing him in Cleveland, you just didn't want a ball hit to him. So glad to have him on our side. I think there's a ton of upside with his bat. We've already been talking with David Popkins and how to unlock some of the power that he has shown at the big league level already. And I think there's a lot of upside in the bat. But just, talked to Andres last night. He's excited, thrilled to kind of be part of this. He's an easygoing guy, and he posts every day. He's a really, really dynamic player. I love that he's left-handed. I love that he can run. I love the way he's going to play defense. And if we can get a little more offense out of him, you're talking about a really impact player.
You're going to have Blue Jays fans, and I think a lot of people in the industry, while they think Andres Gimenez is a terrific player, a little bit surprised that you guys went for a little bit more defensive skewed player and another middle infielder. So Why him and not a starting pitcher right now, a top reliever, and maybe a big thumper, as people are saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put words in Ross's mouth or anything, but I think this is a part of what we wanted to do, not the whole thing, obviously. And looking back at last year, there's other areas that we need to address. Pitching for sure, both starting and in the bullpen, and hopefully we can still add some power to the middle of our lineup and slide someone in front of or behind Vlad and Bo. So by no means is our work done. So I think just being able to acquire that kind of player was really attracting, and hopefully we can kind of continue to build around that.
That's very good news for a lot of Blue Jays fans who thought maybe you guys would be leaving here and you were just kind of done for the day. But
right.
You still have a few months to go.
Yeah, I think everyone talks about the winter meetings. The off season's still going. When everyone leaves here today, so it's nice to kind of get a groundwork, if you will, of what you want to do with teams that are here. But I think by no means are we done trying to make our team better.
All right, last two for me. One, I'm curious about the message for you to Blue Jays fans who are, and you've said it, you guys were pretty disappointed about last season as well. They're disappointed, they're frustrated, maybe borderline, like, why aren't you guys doing something? As you go to 2025, what would you like to tell Blue Jays fans and what they should expect from this ball club moving forward?
For one, hopefully more wins, right? That's what it comes down to. The fact that, we're not rebuilding, we're not resetting, we're trying to win the division, and it's a tough draw in this division, but we understand that we fell well short of expectations, from the team that we put together at this time last year. And, the one good thing about, not being in playoff contention was we kind of got a head start on what we wanted to do for 2025. So those conversations have been happening for about 3 months now, and our focus, our goal is to understand where we failed last year, address it accordingly, and put another playoff caliber team on the field. It is, when you look at the last 4 or 5 years where we are really competitive, last year was definitely not what we expected. We've made some changes to, staff. We've made some personnel changes to address that. And you learn from the things you didn't do well at last year. And it's been a time to reflect for sure. And I think we've all done that. We're going to continue to do it. But when you have the help with ownership, they're going to go out and they're going to help us in that regard. That's all you can really ask for. So, again, to the fans, 2024 is not what we expect. It's not what we plan for. It's not what our fans deserve. So hopefully 2025 kicks off in a better way.
All right, last one. When you're heading down to, suit up, start spring training, are some of the guys down there already? Yeah,
there's a lot. I feel like, a lot of guys are kind of local. I'm local down there. I spend a lot of time at the PDC. There's a lot of guys down there, and it's cool that a lot of the veteran guys are going to be down there in January, bringing their families down early, kind of getting a jump start on everything. And again, it's the kind of guys that we have. I think, guys like Bassett and Gauze and Swanee, they're disappointed with the way it went last year, so they're doing everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen again. And to see those guys down there already is really exciting. Alejandro Kirk has moved his family to the area. He's there the whole offseason. He looks great. So guys are really taking it upon themselves to make sure that we really get off to a good start.
All right. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you and everybody. We look forward to seeing you in Florida.
Thank you so much, Hazel.
All right. The manager of your Toronto Blue Jays, Mr. John Schneider. Guys, back to you.